I believe this. I found this to be true. If you're not walking on the razor blade, you're really living in a kind of death existence. You have to have that danger facing you that if I slip, I'm dead. That's what makes you live. That's what gives you life. That's what gives you purpose. And I sincerely believe that any man or woman who does not have principles for which they're ready and willing to die for at any given moment that they're called upon to do that is already dead and are of no use or consequence to themselves or anyone else and will be unhappy throughout their life for that very reason and that very reason alone.
Okay, this is Main Street of Springerville, the town that's connected to Eager, and this is the also the highway coming in to Springerville from St. John's. This is our research center that we opened up after Bill's death. We had to close it due to financial constraints recently. You're seeing the last of it. What this room contained was the core research books and articles. Along every wall that you see, 7 shelves high, literally from the floor to up high, was solid books. We categorized them and alphabetized them by category and then alphabetized them in each category so it was easy to look up. Down the middle here were all desks, and with all the outlets we had the ability that people could come in and use each format of media, for instance beta, VHS, high 8, whatever, with a monitor. And they could use books, and I made arrangements with the copy shop down the street, and they would make copies for us at a reduced rate. That way the books never left the building. This whole front portion from this here was solid file cabinets, completely packed full, every single drawer, the big file cabinets of individual pieces of research material. Rare transcripts, any of that stuff. All this we still possess. I just have it in safe storage now. This was the studio, the audio and video portions. Watch your step. Back here, just the remnants of cable. All my masters are just down here on the floor. Bills are all preserved in a safe place. Those are just the masters of all my broadcast. And in here was audio and video setup and all our duplication, order fulfillment. And here is the famous microphone that Bill loved so much and talked about on the air, the RCA tube mic, right here. He really liked this microphone a lot. From when he got it, that's all he used on the broadcast.
How old is it?
Oh, 40s. This is one of his Vietnam service medals. Now, some of his were just destroyed over the years, moving. So he had put together this batch prior to his death because he wanted to kind of make it an assemblage of the medals that were over there at the time that people were earning for the Qua Viet website. And this one's the Republic of Vietnam's service medal. Here's the commendation medal. And above me you see the ribbon that you wear. This is really for decorative purposes only. And historical, really, you don't ever wear these except for when they're pinned on you and you take them off. This one right here is Naval Service. And here is National Defense Service Medal. These, some of these pieces all these pieces down here were some of Bill's favorites that he had in his work area on display. That was his Say No to the UN plaque he got from the Lansing, Michigan speech. That tape will be familiar to many in the audience.
Because when I'm here, I'm just Bill Cooper. I'm talking to you from my heart. When I'm on the radio, I am on a mission. And that mission is to slap people upside the head and wake them up and even make them hate me, if that's what it takes to get them to go examine what I'm telling them to find out that it's right. You see, I don't care how it's done as long as they wake up. And if I have to be the bad guy that they're going to hate for the rest of their life, that's okay with me if I wake them up.
A Bill of Rights from a very old print, and they fixed it to that wood placard and gave that to him, some of his friends. The saint casting out Lucifer. That was by the kitchen. This is one of his all-time favorite records ever. Love is a Gentle Thing. Here's a nice reproduction of the Declaration of Independence for the States of America. And here's a leather embossed plaque that Eva and I had gotten Bill for his birthday back in 1999, 2000, one or the other. It's the prayer at Valley Forge from the famous painting of George Washington praying, asking for guidance. As this copper engraved plate and raised of JFK, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the 35th president. This is one of Bill's favorite pieces, hung in the hall entryway of the house. I don't know where he even got this, but he really liked it and made sure it was always up wherever he moved. The story of how I came upon this site is a unique one. Tasked with having to find a site and not much time, I went to the city of Springerville, and this was one of the few things that worked out smoothly following his death, and at least with all the arrangements. I went down there. The city personnel in Springerville knew my situation and why I was there. They gave me the funeral plot on a handshake and let me pay it off a month later. And they even had the city working crew, the field crew that would have to dig it, come out after hours that day when they could have been home because they weren't getting paid and meet me. It's an old cemetery, basically a very crude mapping system because of the age of the graves. I met Tom, the city crew member, right down there at the entryway, and I parked. He was behind me, and I got out of the vehicle, said, "Hey, let's take a look," and he goes, "Well, let's just start walking around and see what you think." And I saw this elm tree here and was drawn here almost like magnetically. It was really strange, and the hair on my neck almost stood up the whole time. And I walked with a purpose straight to that tree, and then looked over here and walked straight to here. No hem-haw, skipped a lot of space. And I look out here, and it's the exact view that Bill loved. In the mornings, afternoons, whenever, but afternoons his favorite. It's the same view we had from his back porch where we would barbecue and sit and listen to shortwave radio at night and watch the sunset and the snow, and just beautiful. He loved it. He talked about it on the radio often. So I'm standing here, I'm looking at this, and it's amazing. I'm still getting this chill feeling. And I look over like this, and there's Bill's house, perfectly in line. And this is essentially the exact same elevation and line of his back porch where he always sat and enjoyed the view of this valley, the round valley here. And I said, "Well, what about this spot here?" And he says, "Oh, I think that's taken." So he pulls out this map, a lot of it hand-drawn and added to. And lo and behold, he goes, "Well, I'll be dang, there's 2 spots open here. I thought they were full." And I said, "I want this one no matter what." The gentleman, Tom, he circled the area with cones and parked a vehicle here and notified the city crews that no one wanted to get this spot because it was for Bill. And that's pretty much how it happened.